Hello, my name is Elena Magana, and this is my video response for the week. This week we were given the chance to review movements such as Black Lives Matter, the different pop protests through music, and we even saw Beyonce's visual album Lemonade. Of all the materials that we were given to do research on, I particularly took interest in how theater allows for certain messages and stories to be told and received in a given space. And this isn't exclusive to a physical theater, but rather a space created by an artist or artists so that these stories can be consumed by the audience. Okay, so let me go ahead and briefly explain what the Black Lives Matter movement is. It originally started out as a hashtag that was used specifically in response to the killing of Trayvon Martin and during the trial of George Zimmerman. Subsequently, after some time has passed, it was once again used and went viral for a second time during the Ferguson protest of Mike Brown. Torment and Alicia systematic oppression that comes along with being and ultimately the Black Lives must matter in order for so again, that's a very brief definition of what the movement actually is. Let me go ahead and go back to what it was that actually interested me this week. Watching the documentary on Black Lives Matter, I watched as Patrisse Cullors collected a group of people to allow them and give them the chance to voice their stories. So she got together with a collective in Seattle, and basically these people were finally given the chance to give a true voice to their stories. It isn't just something that you read online. It isn't just something that someone tweets about. It's something someone hears. It's something someone sees. Okay, so in the previous lectures, we learned how important it was for people to see themselves represented in the theater context. But here it wasn't just black people playing fictional roles. Here was realism. Here was their actual experiences with police, with TSA agents, people from school, and the list goes on and on. Like I said before, this happened in Seattle, but creating black artist spaces and creating safe spaces where people of color can express their feelings through spoken word, like it was in the documentary, and through dance or any other art form, that needs to happen more often. Also, watching the documentary, I saw how a group of children had gathered and did tap dancing and were also stepping. And it reminded me that using dance and music as a tool is also very important in connecting with people and hopefully showing and making people feel the message. Along those lines, I want to share a personal story. Last year, I attended San Diego's BK Soul Dance Company show. It's called Illegible, where I thought I would be seeing a hip-hop performance and perhaps some Black Lives Matter imagery was introduced here and there, since I was told that the Black Lives Matter movement was the inspiration for. However, once I was there, once I was part of the audience, I was completely taken aback. It was a completely different experience than what I had been expecting or than what I was ready for. These artists shared their personal experiences as Black Americans through a collaboration of spoken word, live music, and dance. And it wasn't even just hip-hop dance. It was through modern dance, hip-hop, jazz. It was a little of everything. And they used this outlet as their form of expression. At points I laughed, I cried, and there were points where I was genuinely mad and upset. But overall, the piece made me feel. I want to touch on the word feel. In the documentary for Black Lives Matter, Patrisse mentions that she wants the audience to feel deeply, and that's why she is working with this collective of individuals. She wants the audience to just feel deeply, connect with whatever the movement is, whatever the spoken word is, you know. It's about experiencing it. Using the hashtag for Black Lives Matter isn't the end all and be all either. And though this was a great way to start the movement, if you will, it needs to connect to people in order to create real social change. I think using theater and dance and or music is a great way to do just that. But of course, you may only be targeting a certain type of person or people, which in return almost leaves you not quite where you started off at, but you still, in a way, alienate perhaps some people who may not have access to the theater, to the arts, so that it becomes a issue of outreach. I think that this topic overall is complicated, and looking at it through this class, and more specifically a theater context, it has allowed me personally, it has allowed me to question things differently and to see things differently, or maybe not necessarily finding the answers, but at least questioning it differently. At the end of the day, as a friend once told me, at least you're questioning what is going on. If you don't now, you will. These words have stuck with me for quite some time now, and I like to think that I have a better understanding now than I did back then. This issue will always be a bit complicated. Let's be honest, more than just a bit, it'll be complicated. But that's fine. That's fine, because diversity isn't clear-cut, and ideas are always changing, and they're always molding into different, different vernacular, different ideas, and it could be hard to keep up sometimes, and it could also be hard to change your own way of thinking, and to change it and to acclimate your way of thinking to mainstream society. It isn't just about the black man. It is about everyone. The black woman, the black transgender woman, queer people, everyone. It's all black people. And basically, once their lives matter, like I said earlier, then all lives matter, because at the end of the day, it isn't about one race. It isn't about one color. It's about everyone, and everyone being given the same opportunity, everyone being treated equally the same. And unless that happens in our justice system and even in our daily lives, then this movement will continue, and this movement will continue to transform and do just that, to try and fight for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much.